I suppose I might as well use the packet, because I don't have another packet. Cubes left. I tend to only have 3. But I suppose I might as well come back to Obsidian. I'll be in Obsidian today, my friend. A little bit later. I'll probably be training around 6 o'clock. I've got to have some food. I've got to edit this vlog. But in the meantime, feel free to ask any questions, my friend. I didn't even realise that you were here, to be fair. Like, how come I've added a video chat box, but the video chat box isn't working? That is very concerning. It should be on screen right now. Oh, that's why. There we are. I see ya. It says here, good. Hey boss, how are you today? I am very well. How are you, my friend? Are you working? Are you gymming? Are you chilling? What are you doing? I love that I can see your... let me add something else as well. I'm just experimenting with all of the features on OBS. There's a... Where is it? Tip goal, tip ticker, view count. There's all sorts of things here that... What is this? A spin wheel? Oh wow, look at that. You can add a wheel. P.S. It's me, the Polish overlord. I know, I gathered that. Look at this. What is this? A bloody spin box. This is so bizarre. Let's remove it though, because I don't know how to use it yet. What are you doing today, Polish overlord? Anything interesting? What widgets do you think we should add? Hello there. How are we doing, my friend? I'm just experimenting with OBS. Yeah, like giving a lolly shop, getting all my sweeties. Just don't know what sweeties to actually buy. But so far, I've added the chat box, which is kind of cool. I know that you can do like goals. I know you can do, you know, like subscriber things and stuff like that. Pretty good. Good to hear. What are you doing today? Doing anything nice? Are you going out this evening? Restaurant, pub, club, training? What are you doing? Emote wall. Display and animate emotes from chat. Why not? Let's add an emote wall. I'm not sure where it's located, but if you now emote, it should. There should be emotes. So if you send an emote, one of you. Excuse me. Combo required. Ignore duplicates. Salam, brother. Ryan, how are you doing? I'm doing very well, my friend. How are you? Emote scale 5. Let's just keep that on there and see what happens, I suppose. Just adding a bunch of stuff to my stream at the minute. Experimenting with OBS. I'm also editing a new video. I should go get my earphones, really. But the retention will drop dramatically if I leave this room. So I can't really do much. But I'm essentially just like making my new, whatchamacallit, one moment. I'm editing a video for my next vlog. I'm currently ill, and I have been ill for the last few days. I've been very irritable, very moody. So I've not made any YouTube videos. I haven't even gone to the gym. I feel flaccid. Have you played Doom Eternal? No, but it looks really... Oh, Doom Eternal, yes, I've played Doom Eternal. Finished my cooking lesson, and we'll go to music rehearsal with the boys after. You look to be doing good too. Believe it or not, I feel like absolute rubbish, my friend. I've got some sort of like minor flu. It's all luckily above my head at this precise moment in time. Above? In. So head cold, not flu. Music rehearsal. What do you do at music rehearsal?
There's 4 cubes left. I tend to only have 3.
I tend to only have 3.
But I suppose I might as well use the pack.
What size is your hoodie that you're wearing? To be honest, I don't know. It's a large, but it's oversized. I think it's like an extra oversized fit. I tend to go large. I like it still baggy, you know, nice and comfy. I can get nice and snuggly, but I don't like so oversized that it looks like I'm wearing a snuddy.
Because I don't have another pack.
But I'm currently editing a
I mix that together.
video. Eternal and 2016 are better than Dark Ages in my opinion. I really enjoy Eternal, or have enjoyed Eternal. I haven't completed it yet. 2016 is probably my favourite so far, but that's only because I've played that the most out of them both. Now obviously you can't really go wrong with the classic Dooms, because they are the funnest. They're the true shooting, the run and shoot, whatever you call it. But yeah, I'll try out Doom Ages soon. Has the appetite come back by now? Not really. I still don't really have much of an appetite right now, which is rather frustrating. Okay, looks great. Hey boss, would you recommend entering a powerlifting competition even if I'm really relatively weak? Honestly, mate, just go. Just have some fun. Enjoy the process. When you go there, you'll be surrounded by like-minded individuals. Everyone is very positive and motivating, and you know, from experience, the community is great. Even the people that you're competing with are still very motivating and encouraging. So yeah, go for it. Why not? See where you fare, and don't worry about what everyone else is doing. Just kind of focus on yourself. Focus on hitting a PR or something like that. See it as like a glorified PR day. Wolfenstein is a great game. Yes, I personally absolutely love Return to the Castle Wolfenstein, which is my favourite out of all of the Wolfensteins, but that's only because I grew up with Return to the Castle Wolfenstein. Hey Big Dog, was wondering if you ever had any major back injuries and how you dealt with those. I've actually slipped a disc once, and that was doing front squats after back squats. The only thing I could really do was to try my hardest to keep walking, and I just kept walking and walking until eventually it started to subside. Then I started to reintroduce weighted exercises again, and I just took it very easy. So how can I break this down in the most easiest structure to understand? Basically, the first day was agonising. I couldn't bend over, I couldn't get out of bed or anything like that, but I just kept moving as much as I possibly can. Then a week or so later, I started to reintroduce resistant training again, after slowly being able to walk more and more and bend over more and more. You've just got to do as much as you possibly can without making it worse, and then reintroduce really, really light resistant work, like especially isometrics. I really like the old isometrics, the holds for rehab. You know, just trying to reach for your fucking reach for your shoelaces a bit more every day. Just keep moving. But if it is something serious, I would probably go and get a scan on it to figure out what's going on, and then some physio. Not that that's very easy in the NHS system, assuming you're from the UK. If you're up for the not so pleasant sensation, gobbling mustard until the sinuses depressurise make for a very nice homemade flu remedy. Currently my flu remedy is honey, lemon and ginger in some warm water. So I pour the boiling hot kettle water over the ginger, wait for it to cool down to about 50 degrees, and then I pour it over the honey and lemon, and I have a few cups of that. Awesome, thank you. We'll definitely enter the comp. Go for it. Why not? Have some fun, my friend. Get some PRs. Don't worry about what everyone else is doing. Thanks for the detailed answer, mate. Gives me hope here. Isometric on the back extension is what I'm doing currently. Good. I'm very happy to hear that. Keep that up, but just take one step at a time. Don't rush into anything. Be patient, otherwise you'll make it worse. Olympics in LA in 2028 are owned by Ryan. Watch me. Team GB has a spot for me. They're calling for my abilities, my mobility. You'll see me in the next Olympics in LA in 2028. I'm taking a piss, by the way. I don't actually expect that.
Before it starts to...
That definitely sounds like a nicer way to treat the flu. Yes, I'm not going to be gobbling down on copious amounts of mustard. Doesn't really sound very fun. An easy pre-digesting workout carbs you recommend. Easy pre-digesting workout carbs. I'm assuming you mean before workout. Now, I use these things called Energy Gel, and this is from MyProtein. Now, this is not a MyProtein plug, but if you do want a little discount, you can use code RyanPrice at myprotein.com. They've got a Black Friday sale going on right now, just saying. I use these little things called energy gels, and I squeeze those in, and it's basically just pure carbs, pure glycogen, and it kicks in very fast. But the only issue is, if you slap one of those down too quickly, you'll end up on the toilet. Aside from that, I would probably look into things like basmati rice. Basmati rice is quite a good one. I like the old oats. It is a slow digesting carbohydrate, but I feel like if you slap down, you slap down some, you gulp down some oats an hour or so before your workout, it's plenty in terms of energy. Cheap electrolytes from Amazon are goated. I couldn't say I've bought any cheap electrolytes from Amazon. Before I got sponsored by any supplement companies, I didn't ever touch anything like that, and it's only helped my performance now that I do have access to these things. And these glycogen packets and electrolyte packets that I now intake before my workouts really has improved my performance, especially endurance. I seem to be able to bust out more reps. And when it comes to hitting higher RP sets, I have that little bit extra in the tank. So these electrolytes and these little glycogen packs that I consume have most definitely helped. But I think the real winner here is my protein oats. I got they're a big bag of oats, and I eat that with the old honey and stuff. And if I run out of that, I will then feast on Quaker, if that's the alternative. If I run out of the oats, specifically when on a cut, it helps so much. Yes, it most certainly does. Baby rice is very good. I like the sticky rice as well. Sticky rice is quite nice. Anyway, let's edit a little bit of this video. So far I've
Burn onto the pan.
so far so good. I am reading your guys' comments.
Before it starts to
burn onto the pan. I should really put some earphones in
burn
so it
on
doesn't overwhelm you.
to the pan. In fact, I probably should have been staring.
Yeah, I recently got diagnosed with trial Crohn's disease. Basically, so trying to trial foods out before. Yeah, so I think your best bet is the elimination diet. You basically just eliminate everything out of your diet, minus well, no, I think actually you eliminate everything out of your diet, and then you slowly reintroduce like complex carbs and whole foods such as rice, pasta, bread, etc., etc. And you just kind of like monitor how you feel. You basically have to like monitor. A good way of monitoring whether a food is reacting well in you is things like blood pressure and blood glucose. Now, it sounds a bit extreme, but I actually like to monitor my blood pressure and my blood glucose level every time I've reintroduced, or not necessarily reintroduced something, but introduced a new form of carbohydrate, especially carbohydrates, because carbohydrates are going to be the things that spike your blood pressure or spike your blood glucose level. And if I see something spikes really high, then I tend to try to avoid that. And I tend to try to go for things that don't spike my blood glucose or blood pressure too much. Simply because, as a man, blood pressure is very important. Also, I'm using the wrong microphone. Oops, did I just set that on performance mode? I didn't mean to do that. We can change that. Thoughts on Arc Raiders? Oh my friend, I am obsessed with Arc Raiders. I absolutely love the game. Absolutely love it. Absolutely obsessed with the blooming thing. and it's not good because it can easily suck me in to a good 4 or 5 hour session. In fact, I am going to be streaming it tonight, so after my gym session around 7 or 8 o'clock, I will be streaming Arc Raiders. Hey boss, what are your thoughts on SBD days? Been trying them lately and super fatigued. Can't normally hoist the same weight. Any tips? Many thanks. Basically, when it comes to introducing SBD days, you have to make sure that you're doing it correctly. For me, it's 2 sets, so it would be 1 top set of, say, a triple, double, single, and then the same would apply to the bench press or the deadlift, sorry. Different rep ranges for different exercises. I tend to go higher repetitions for the bench and lower repetitions for the deadlift. I also do 1 less deadlift back off set. I think doing squat and deadlifts together is the probably thing that's tanking you. So I would say in terms of back off sets and things like that, only do about 2 back off sets for the deadlifts and only do 3 back off sets for the squat, no more. Also play around with the RPE, a lower RPE for the deadlift compared to the squat, or it depends what you're prioritizing. If you're prioritizing deadlifts, then I would say higher RPE for the deadlifts, lower RPE for the squat, and vice versa, depending on what you're prioritizing. As for the bench press, it doesn't really tend to tank the squat or the deadlift, but always do bench press before you do deadlifts. Work with lower RPEs, and you really do have to manage your secondary days, because when it comes to the SBD day, if you don't manage those secondary days, you will be heavily fatigued. You want to take this introduction to the SBD day quite light, so start off at like RP5s for all, maybe RP4 for the deadlifts, RP5s for the squat and the bench. I'd say you could also get away with like RP 5.5 for the bench, RP 5 for the squat, and RP 4.5 for the deadlift. As the weeks go on, just slowly up the RPE, but it is a case of workload capacity and conditioning. You're going to have to improve those things. Take it easy, be patient with it, be very patient with it, like an injury, be patient with it. And eventually you'll be conditioned to doing the SBD days. Hopefully that helps. Thanks for the advice, man. I was meant to hit a 170 squat PR, but ended up in hospital and got the diagnosis. Again, my friend, just 1 step at a time. Don't worry, but don't beat yourself up. Just 1 step at a time. Try to manage this new diagnosis around your training. You're going to have to learn to adapt. That's just the reality of it. But in the meantime, just do whatever you can, my friend. Do whatever you can. If you've been told that all you can eat is chicken and rice, then eat chicken and rice and make sure you're hitting your calories. Just do what you can. If you know, just keep active, keep eating, and stay well, my friend. Keep hydrated. I think in your case, hydration is probably key at this precise moment in time. Don't fuck around with too many supplements, because that could irritate your newfound diagnoses. You and Brandon Harding should both play Arc Raiders together. Would be awesome. I'll ask him tonight. I'll see if he wants to play some Arc Raiders. Thanks for the help. This is why you're the GOAT. Oh, thank you very much, my friend. I'll be bowing all day. Don't actually know what the GOAT means. Greatest of all time, doesn't it? Gonna make me blush. Hey boss, what's good, my man? How we doing, Vince? Will you guys and girls mind if I run over to the sofa quickly and grab my earphones, just so that when I do edit this video, it doesn't blast through the microphone and overwhelm your eardrums? I'm still getting used to this streaming thing. I've got a little board here, new subs. I'll be writing down new subs there. I want to include, like, above here, I want to have like new subs that appear. I'm not sure how to do it yet. I think what I'd have to do is wavelength. Yeah, it's gonna open Wavelink. That way you can hear me a lot better and a lot more crisp. Thanks, brother. Really appreciate your help and advice. No worries, my friend. Take your time. Exactly. Take your time, my friend. Be patient. Should you go close to failure or all the way to failure to gain strength on compounds? It's probably the opposite. When it comes to training for strength, you want to be managing your fatigue heavily, on the compounds especially. That's why when you program SBD or any kind of compound movement, that includes things like the snatch, the clean and jerk, the bent over row, and things like that, you want to be working with set RPs every week, and you want to be working through different variations of rep ranges throughout those weeks and blocks. And then when it comes to competing, if you have a plan on competing, then you'll do something called a peak, where you basically ramp up the workload and eventually you'll taper just before the competition. You've got to manage your fatigue heavily if you're focusing on strength, but don't do it so much to where you're working with like RP 3s, 2s, 1s, where there's just minimal effort. You want to be working at the start of most blocks. You'll probably start around RP 5 and work your way up to about RP 8, maybe 9 at most, depending on what your coach, if you have a coach, recommends, or how you feel. Auto-regulation is very important. You're like a mad scientist. Yeah, just scientists tend to have clean-shaven faces and tend to be a lot more intelligent than I am. I'm not a scientist by any means. I just have an accent, that's it. All brawn, no brain. Right, the Elgato is currently live on here, so hopefully when I change it, it'll be a lot nicer, a lot more crisp. There we go. That should be a lot better for you guys and girls. How's that? Is that better? Does it sound nicer? It should do. I'm going to run over to my sofa quickly. It'll literally take me a minute, not even that, and grab my earphones. Back. Crispy, exactly. Do you think it sounds better? Oh, good Lord. What I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to stream live, chat with you guys and girls. Feel free to leave. Don't feel any pressure to stay. Ask away some questions whilst I edit this video for YouTube. Get this scheduled for this evening. I haven't posted on YouTube because I've been quite ill. I've been... Oh, liver shot. Why did I hit myself in the liver with it? I don't know. Hopefully this doesn't blow up. Okay. Wow! Happily. I do actually have a little holder here for drinks, but I don't tend to use it. Lovely jubbly. I need a boom arm. That would make my life 10 times easier. Yeah. I could play a bit of music, to be fair. What do you guys say? A little bit. Oh wait, does wow, the retention really did drop. Incredible. It's strange how that works. Is there a way to manage high school stresses and fatigue so my workouts aren't affected? Your best bet is routine. Get a routine underneath your belt. I'd start with going to sleep and waking up at the same time every day. That will tremendously help not only your mental health but your physical health as well. I was actually supposed to say that the opposite way around, so it has a bit more like, you know, oomph to it. It'll help your physical health and your mental health. Once you've got that, I would say get into the routine of going to the gym at the same time every day as well. So it could be you go to school and then straight to the gym after. Or you could go really early. Ryan, could you read my last comment? I shall, Martin. One moment. Yes, I just answered your question, Martin. I hope you were there to listen to it. But yeah, so get into a routine. Wake up, well, go to sleep and wake up at the same time every day. Go to the gym every time, at the same time every day. Um, Eat your food at the same time every day. Now, yes, life gets in the way from time to time, and it may not always be that straightforward, but just try and hold on to a routine as much as you can, because that way your day is structured and you'll be able to see consistency in your life. You'll be a lot more consistent with everything. You'll see a lot more progression. Consistency is key, and you'll get that from being routine. So pick a time, pick a day, have a routine, and that should help. What age did you start training? The first time I ever picked up a weight was when I was 7 or 6. I can't, well, maybe even 5. My dad used to have some dumbbells underneath his bed, and I snuck into his bedroom one day, and I pulled those dumbbells out of it underneath his bed, and I remember 15 kilograms was loaded up on the dumbbells, and I somehow, this is how I know it's a genetic thing, somehow cold, like hammer cold, in a really awkward manner, the 15 kilograms at the age of about 6, I don't know, it must have been between the age of 5 and 7. I remember my dad walking in and just looking at me like, "What are you doing?" But he wasn't angry or anything. He was kind of like proud. And then, properly, the first time I ever went to the gym was when I was 13. I used to hang around with this guy. He was a rugby player. And he also hung around with a bunch of his rugby friends, his rugby teammates. And he introduced me to this gym called the Weights Room back in the day. We went in there with proper ragged and gritty gym. You know, you walk in there, you can smell the rubber, you can smell the metal, you can smell the protein shake in the blender hitting the follicles of the life, of the existence of the universe. I don't know what I'm talking about, but yeah. And he introduced me to the bench press because I chatted some crap. I said, "Oh, I can bench 100 kilograms," and he just looked at me like, "Are you mad? You weigh about 48 kilograms. You're not benching 100 kilograms." And I thought I could do it on the incline bench. So he brought me down to this gym with his friends just to mock me. But I needed that. I needed him to mock me because it showed me that it humbled the life out of me. You know, I mean, he was like, "Oh yeah, we'll load up 100 kilograms and we'll get you underneath the barbell." So I laid on the bench, and they all surrounded me and they watched me. Some of them were giggling. And he unloaded it for me. He unracked it for me, and that crushed me instantly. And I remember that like it was yesterday. And since then, I was on and off training from the age of 13 up until the age of about 21. And then I just kind of hit a slump, didn't really train until the age of about 24, 5. And I've been consistent since the age of 24, 5. I'm 31 now. So that's about 6 or 7 years consistent. So I like to say that I've been training consistently for about 6, 7 years. But I have, like, the first time I ever worked out and went to the gym and trained was when I was 13. So a long time. A long time. Hopefully that makes it a bit crisper, a bit clearer. Six years for a 300 kilogram deadlift is mad. Right, so it's a strange one because the 300 kilogram deadlift came within a year of actually training strength. I never actually focused on training strength. I only started focusing on training strength about a year and a half ago. Before that, I think the most I'd pulled was 260, and that was for a single. And that took me about 4 years. Well, it took me about 3 years of consistent training to go from, say, I think it was like a 225 or something kilogram deadlift. No, 240 kilogram deadlift to a 260 kilogram deadlift. That took me 2 years. And then I got a 270 a year later. And then I dropped off due to COVID. Then I came back and decided to try and pull 1 rep max the day that the gyms reopened. And I pulled 250 kilograms. I could have easily pulled more, but I decided that was it for starting off. And then
a year later, I got to 260 again. My dad died. I grieved heavily. That impacted everything in my life. I lost a lot of weight, went back down to about 240. After 2 years of grieving, came back, hit 250 after about a month of training, and then started doing all this social media stuff and got 280 in 3 months, 290 2 or 3 months, 2 months later, and then a month later after that hit 300. So I would say it took me about 2 years, no, a year of consistent strength training to go from 260 kilograms to 300 kilograms. But that is only because I really did focus and lock in on the old strength training. Bruv is genetically strong as fuck. Yes, I have to say, my friend, genetics play a huge role in my strength. I have always been strong, and I don't mean that in a big-headed way. The first time I ever deadlifted, I was about 56 kilograms in body weight, and I deadlifted 140 kilograms off the bat with no initial training. So deadlift has always been a strong point for me. Squat not so much, but deadlift has. But I've always been strong, so that is definitely a bonus. I'm very blessed for that. How far into training consistently did it take you to bench press 140 kilograms? Honestly, mate, not that long. I think when I first started benching, the first ever time I benched was 50 kilograms, and I weighed about 50 odd kilograms. So I benched my body weight as soon as I started benching. And then like a year later, I was already hitting 2 plates. Probably even less than a year later. I think that was at the age of 16. At the age of about 16, 17, I hit 2 plates. Then at the age of 17 or 18, I hit 3. And then after the age of 18, where I really started to progress, I think I hit over 150 or no, I don't think I ever decided to go past 140. I just started getting more reps with it. I dropped off significantly because I just lost my way and didn't train. Lost all of the strength, and then when I started coming back at the age of 24, when I actually started training again, I think I hit the first time I hit something was 140 for a struggle, and that was at the body weight of about 83. So realistically, if I was to condense it down into how long it actually took me to hit 3 plates, probably 2 or 3 years of somewhat consistent training, quite young. Jealousy is real here. Again, my friend, some of us are just... It's a lottery. Some in the genetic pool of things, some things we lose, some things we win. I won in terms of strength. And my leverages probably play a good part of it. My leverages are kind of almost perfect for power training and stuff. What sort of accessory exercises do you train to improve your deadlift? Oh, many. Back extensions, leg curls, RDLs, bent over rows. There are so many. And even the ones that you wouldn't expect help deadlift. I think for one, low bar back squats transfer over very well to deadlifts. Even pull downs with a lat pull down machine or pull ups, they strengthen all the upper back body muscles. So the best thing to do is to look at the muscles that a exercise works, and train those muscles in as many manners as possible. So, for example, the high bar back squat requires a great deal of quad strength. So, what would you want to do? You'd want to do things like leg extensions. You'd want to do things like a pendulum or a hack squat, or there's a squat machine or a belt squat or something like that. You'd want to do even dynamic exercises like power cleans will help you squat. Front squats will help your back squats to a degree. And then obviously doing a high bar back squat, you don't just use your quads, you use your hamstrings as well. So you do leg curls, you would do RDLs, you would do deadlifts. It all works together. It's all a unity. Try to strengthen the body as a whole. Try to hit those, but do emphasize the muscles that work most. So the best example is if you want to get stronger bench, the main muscles that are used are, of course, the chest, the shoulders, the triceps, and the latissimus dorsi. So, for example, a good a good day. I'm going to give you a little day that you could do that would be perfect for improving your bench press. Now, you do your bench, working up to a top set of whatever. Then you do like 3-4 back off sets of whatever, right? This is up to you at this point. I don't know what weight rep ranges and that you're working with at the minute, but just stick with those. Then you would do, say, like a dumbbell overhead press or a barbell overhead press to strengthen your shoulders. Then, say, a pull down or a pull up to strengthen your lats. And you could do, or even a row, a dumbbell row would strengthen your lats. We could just do dumbbell overhead press, dumbbell lats, dumbbell overhead extensions for the tricep. That's already a solid workout. You don't need to overcomplicate it. You just need to stick to the basics, right? Stick to the basics. Don't overcomplicate it. There's all this science-based this, science-based that, do this, do that, blah, blah, blah. Oh, my head, it hurts, I've got a migraine. What do I do? Keep it simple, my friend. 3 sets of 10. Pull downs, 3 sets of 10. Overhead press, 3 sets of 10. Tricep extension. You've already done a solid little workout here. I'd say maybe even throw in an extra tricep thing, so like a skull crusher or a push down. You can do an overhead extension and a cable pull down, 3 sets of 10. Maybe mix it up a bit. 3 sets of 8 or 3 sets of 10 with the overhead extension. Go a little bit heavier, you know. I'd say go heavier with the overhead extension, go lighter with the pull down. And then add a core exercise in there, what they called Pallof press. Pallof press is to reinforce all your upper body muscles because they're going to be engaged when you're pressing, you know. Keep it simple. Simplify it. I do high bar back squats. I want to improve my high bar back squats. So I'll do leg extend. Or no, I'll start off. I'll do a hack squat. Then I'll do a leg extension, leg curls, and planks. Done. You've got a solid workout to improve your high bar back squat right there. It's so simple. It's just managing your fatigue. Did I play any sports as a kid? Not religiously. I played a bit of rugby, played a bit of football, a bit of basketball, some not baseball, cricket, tennis. I love tennis. Tennis was probably one of my favourite sports because you have to be agile, as well as like, you know, you gotta have that technique. You gotta have the techers for the. I can't remember all the names of the shots and stuff, but yeah, I played a variety of sports, especially with my mates. We'd just do whatever we felt like on the day, and I enjoyed it. I think the one that I didn't enjoy the most was probably cricket. You have to be a bit patient for that. I don't have a lot of patience. Football, rugby, basketball, they're all fun. They're very interactive, very engaging. But rugby was probably my favourite out of them all. Because it's hot, yes. Don't get me wrong, you know, quite a few of my friends got concussions and broken limbs due to rugby. But apart from that, it was good fun. I had a few headaches from clashing into people head first. But I was always the shorter, more powerful, sprinty guy. I can't remember what, it's like the wing or something. I was always on the side, grabbing the ball and fucking sprinting. Aiding the big guys, essentially. I was just there to catch the ball and run. I want to start power building, which split will be best, and giving me suggestions as a newbie. Honestly, the best, right, this is the best, in my opinion, hands down, hand on my heart, the best split for power building is upper lower, then day off, then push pull legs. Oh, what a split! What a split! That is a split right there. Or you can reverse it. Push pull legs, day off, upper lower. In fact, I'd say that's probably better. But that right there, upper lower, push pull legs, or push pull legs, upper lower, is the best split. And you know what? That is exactly what I'm kind of, well, not quite doing right now. Mine's a weird trainer. This new YouTube video that I'm editing right here will go over my new training block. Hopefully when I go back to the gym today, I've still got some bloody energy in me. I'm just going to have to lower the RPEs and start the actual block next week and just work with lower RPs this week as like an intro block because I feel like absolute poo-poo. But upper lower, push-pull legs is hands down, hand on my heart, the best split. Now, if you're focusing on strength training, you want to train 4 days a week if you're doing SBD. Or if you're like focusing on the Olympic lifts, some would say 6 days a week, but I think that's a bit excessive. Unless you're competing on a very high, pro or elite level. Then you'd have to get that extra volume in. But yes, push, pull, upper, lower, legs. Blah, blah, blah. You know what I just said. You know what the rules. Got given a good bench build and horrible squat deadlift build, then just double down on the bench, my friend. Get a bigger bench. Or you could challenge yourself. You could get yourself out of your comfort zone and find a way to squat and deadlift that fits you. That's what I would do. I think, all right, I'm not built for the squat or the deadlift, but how could I make it work? How could I squat in the most efficient way? How could I squat in the most deadlift in the most efficient way for me? What technique? Even if you have to do sumo, even if you have to do it, but try to do everything. Try to do everything. Play with your stance. Play with the direction your toes are pointing. Play with the bar position on your back. Play with the grip. Play with everything. Have some fun. Enjoy the process. But whilst doing it, learn about yourself. At the end of the day, you look in that mirror and you see yourself. And that is the person you truly are competing against. That is the person that you need to improve on the most. Because in the outside world, you may look at other people and you may point out their flaws, but you've got plenty of them there. And you need to work on them. So you can enjoy other people's flaws and you can help them with that. I'm just going on a tangent. But yeah. Have a bit of fun. Work on your weaknesses. Find what works for you. You know, trying to get super lean like a runner, but being able to powerlift. I think that would be like a genetic freak build. Now, I'm strong, but unfortunately, when it comes to heavier weight, right now I'm about 91.5 kilograms, I pack on a lot of fat. Now, that might be partially because I've not refined my diet to the degree I could refine it, which is what I'm trying to do at the minute. It's just a struggle, because I'm always doing something. And I can't eat right now because my appetite is absolute zero. That's why I got this whey gainer right here. It's apple. It's very tasty. Code Ryan Price at myprotein.com. Just saying. You get a nice little discount at the minute because it's Black Friday. And my code stacks on top of that. But yeah, to get lean and to get mean, aka strong, is a hard combination. But it is possible if you refine everything. But you have to be very particular. You have to be very on it. You have to lock in. I hate using that word, but it's true. What are your thoughts on Microsoft leaving the Xbox hardware and company stop making Xbox? What? What do you mean Microsoft are leaving Xbox? Martin, you're gonna have to inform me on this one. What do you mean? Let me put up a little Really? Really? Are they doing that? One moment. Let me look at this. Microsoft leaving Xbox? I've got a laptop right in front of me. Why don't I just use this? Microsoft leaving Xbox? No way. No, that's not true. No, Microsoft is not leaving Xbox. The company has officially debunked rumours of exiting the console's business and confirmed it is actively investing in the next generation Xbox hardware. So no, that is not true. Thank the Lord. That would not have made sense. That would not have made sense at all, considering they run on Windows and Microsoft built Xbox essentially. Currently only benching till I hit 184, 405. Then I'll reintroduce squats and deadlifts. Yep, that's fair enough. Stick to your goals, mate. Keep consistent about it. Just as long as you stick to that goal and you don't flitter between, well, I'm halfway through doing this bench-specific program, but I want to start doing this and start doing. Just run the program. See what you can get out of it. Maybe run another block. But try to achieve that goal first. If that's what you want, aim for it. Double down on it. You go get that goal, girl. Queen. No, I'm joking, yeah. That's King! Brother! You get that goal, brother. King. Yeah! Yeah. Right, opinion on Mike Mentzer style training. I think for a natural, it's not optimal. Mike Mentzer style training. Is that the 2 days a week or something? Training. Let's have a look. Mike Mentz's training method, also known as heavy duty training or high intensity. Oh, here is low volume, high intensity approach that focuses on performing only 1 or 2 intense sets to absolute. Again, I can imagine that that wouldn't work for everyone. I think that would only work for people that are gifted. Because if you hit high intensity workouts every week, although it does say low volume, I don't, like, personally, I've never experimented with that kind of training before. So I can't really give you a finite answer. But what I can say is that probably not going to be the best for everyone, only because it's going to be very difficult for people to actually manage the intensity over the volume. I can imagine it is fine-tuning the intensity and the volume to you as an individual as opposed to following a generic program. I feel like you would really have to figure out how much volume and intensity your body can handle before you start regressing due to an excessive amount of fatigue. Proper form. See, I do like the idea of extended recovery periods. That makes sense. I'm assuming it's what, like 3 days a week, maybe like two days between each session. Proper form, yep. Taking every set till complete failure. It's just a bit crazy, but it could potentially work if done right. I think it could do, like any training. I think any training can work as long as it is done right, as long as there is balance, and as long as it works for you specifically. Not every style of training is going to work for everyone. There's the most important part about this. That is a line I'll never cross. Just editing my video right now. Don't mind me. I don't really expect this stream to do very well, but so far, so good. Only because my main focus isn't the stream, it's sorting this bloody thing out. Let's get a bit of light in here. Don't like the... There we go. A bit more. I would turn on the main light, but it's a bit too bright. And I don't want this going into the lens. I don't want any of this light. That'll be right. That'll be fine. Yeah, that'll do. Don't want that in the view. Cool. Keep asking away, boys and girls. I'm here with you. Just working on my next YouTube vlog. Do you boys and girls want a bit of music, or are you kind of cool chilling here? Personally, I'm My training aim is compound sets reps are powerlifting style. Then my accessories are 2 sets to failure. Typically lowered my overall volume due to my recent Crohn's. Yeah, power building. 2 sets of failure. You see, I like that approach personally. That approach works for me. I like to do my compounds, and then it depends, because I tend to do like ascending sets, and the last ascending set is complete failure. Don't tend to do drop sets, don't tend to do supersets, only because they don't work alongside what I'm trying to aim for, which is higher SBD and snatching cleaner jerk. But as for the accessories, 1 to 2 sets of failure seems to work well. Unless you are peaking, then do not do that. Do not run sets of failure if you are peaking, because it will negatively impact your squat, bench and deadlift, or snatch and clean and jerk. Unless you're an absolute freak, a genetic freak or performance enhanced freak, then you can get away with it. But if you're neither of those things, then no. But if you're in off season, assuming you compete, then hitting sets of failure, maybe even a drop set or superset, is chill. Personally, I like to use myo reps and density sets. They're fun, keeps it interesting. I don't know if you guys and girls are aware of what myo and density sets are, but essentially, and I might get this the wrong way round, I can already tell in my head, density sets is you set a timer, and the first weight you do like 15 to 25. Then you, this is where I'm going to get it wrong, I think. You either set the timer for 5 minutes and you bust out as many sets and reps as possible with the same weight or slightly lower, or you go down the other route, which is either myo density, one of these two, I'm pretty sure myo density, where you basically do 15 to 25 and then you do 5 reps every 10 seconds or so with the same weight until you fail. I love that. I love that style of training. It's really fun. You should try Warehouse Gym in Byfleet, Surrey. Warehouse Gym in Byfleet, Surrey. Let's have a look at it. Fleet. Byfleet. Oh, this looks cool. Oh, it's more of a commercial gym, is it? Looks like you got the old Jordan weight plates. The machines look decent. Yeah, they look half decent. Personally, I'll go to Obsidian. I'll be going to Obsidian in a couple of hours to do me bits and bobs. Catch up on the things I ain't done. Myo is basically matching the first set's reps with little breaks. Yeah, is that the one where you essentially do like 5 to 10, maybe 15 or even 25 repetitions, and then you do like, you wait 10 seconds, 5, 10, 5, 10, 5, da, 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 da. Nah. How to regain strength lost everything because of injury. One step at a time, my friend. Reintroduce your compounds, but set them at a low RPE. I'd probably start with 5s, higher repetitions, essentially. Build some workload capacity. Over the next 4 to 8, maybe 12 weeks, I would work on building up workload capacity again, just so you can get used to higher volume and high intensity combined together. And then once you've built up your workload capacity, that is when I'd start to introduce like, you know, proper powerlifting, or it depends what you're going for, strength training. That's when I start to reintroduce the higher RPEs, the lower rep ranges. But your thing right now is to be patient, to work on workload capacity, to build that workload capacity up, and get to a point of where you can start hoisting, heaving, and hauling the heavier ass weights without too much of an issue. Because when you get back, you're going to really struggle to get back into the full swing of things. And your biggest mistake is going back and doing the same amount you were doing before. That will absolutely ruin you and will most likely you'll end up injured again. Start off simple. I would do 3 to 4 days a week. I would have a compound for each. So, for example, Monday would be squats, Wednesday would be bench, Friday would be deadlift. I would probably do 5 by 5 with really light weight, just to build up that workload capacity. Maybe even 3 by 5, depending on how you feel. Then, after the first 4 weeks of doing something like that with slight increments in the RPE, but I wouldn't go anywhere near like 8. I'd probably start at 4, 5, 6, and then 7, and then pull back. I would start to introduce more secondary days, so maybe an extra squat day, or extra deadlift day, or extra bench day. And then I might even add in a couple more accessory exercises after the first 4 weeks. Excuse me. Work with slightly higher rep ranges, slightly lower rep ranges, slightly higher RPEs. Again, balance it out between each. And then on the 12th week, that's when I'll get back into the full swing of things. The full swing of things. My bad. Stumbling. I'm getting hungry. We got Epilico plates. Oh, very nice. Have you ever tried Crayford weights in Dartford? That's where I went the other day with Nojo, and it was a great gym. Hey man, I'm doing your 4-day power building program and did the week 2 day one last night, and it took 2 hours. Does the 5-day program have shorter workouts? Yeah, the 5-day workout does tend to have shorter workouts, but the 3-day and the 4-day will obviously be a bit more because it's all squeezed down into a little bit more. Less, yeah. Frequency is lower, but the volume is higher. Whereas the 5 days, the frequency is higher, but the volume is lower. You've got to have that balancing act. Talking about hoisting, are you planning on trying some of the Sticky Ricky's more unique lifts? Absolutely. I've got a few ones that I want to do in hand, such as the Zercher squat, the Zercher deadlift. I want to try some grip things, such as the Thomas Inch dumbbell. I'd like to have a go at the Atlas log. Atlas stones, and then the log. I'd like to have a little bit of fun with, see how much I can get on the odd dumbbell overhead press and stuff like that. But I've got to balance it around doing my squat, bench, deadlift, snatch, and clean and jerk at this precise moment in time. So yes, the challenges will continue, but I'll only be doing maybe like 1 a week. So I'll pick 1 a week that everyone wants me to do, and I'll do that one. Barbell Lounge was a fun gym to train at. Shame they shut down. Where's Barbell Lounge, and what was it like? Tips for arching on bench some exercises. What? Tips for arching on bench some exercises. Let's start off with arching during bench press, because that's what I'm going to assume you meant. Don't exaggerate an arch, don't overarch, just get into a normal arch. So set your feet up first, then look behind you but do not move your feet and grab the barbell. Then slide underneath the barbell to where your head is off the bench but not your neck. Do not move your feet still, but set up your grip. Then, once you've held the bar, slide into position. Again, do not move your feet to where your eyes are just slightly behind the barbell. Whilst doing so, do not flatten out, do not overarch, just fall into a natural arch, and there you have it. Your natural arch. Do not force an arch. You will hurt yourself. You will cause yourself a cramp in your legs or your back, or you will pull your back, or in my case, when I accidentally overarched, I pulled my neck, which was quite unpleasant, not being able to turn left, right, down, or up. Still kind of hurts. No, it doesn't, don't worry. Tips for arching. Are you still doing some boxing? There are some plans that next year I'll be fighting someone. I'm not too sure if this is going to be going down or not. But if I do fight this person, I will be boxing 2 or 3 days a week, whilst maintaining strength through the power, the big three, and even the squat and the snatch and the clean and jerk. But my focus on lifting will have to be dialed down if I want to get good at boxing. So we'll see. I'll be documenting the whole journey. I know I said I was doing these daily vlogs, but I've not been able to because I've been ill. So I'm making one right now. I need to actually start working on it, otherwise it's never going to be made. And I want to get it out by 6. because I believe that's when you guys and girls wanted to see it the most. It was in Maidenhead. I think you did a video with Jim Reaper there. Oh, really? Oh, yeah, the Barbell Lounge. I remember the Barbell Lounge. Yeah, they had the little basement with all the calibrated weight plates and barbells and stuff. Yeah, that was a good gym. It was a good gym indeed. I didn't know it shut down though. I'm not sure what caused it to shut down. Oh, why did it shut down? I do not know. Please tell me so I know. I'll tell you what I'll do for your guys and girls' entertainment. I'll add a second camera. So what I'll do is I'll add a second camera right here. I don't know how to do it, but I'll do it. I did it before. Oh, here we are. There we go. Now you can see me do multiple things at once. Keeps it interesting. Oh, that's not very helpful, is it? Hold on. You won't be able to see it just yet, but that is because I haven't actually put it up. I need to tweak it. Oh, you can see it. There we go. Look at that. Move the mouse out of the way. I'll probably have to move this as well, only because it's over the chat box. Let it focus. It'll focus. Any future meet plans? Yes. There's one in February and one in April. I think I might do the February as a, you know, getting the old brain and what? Basically chipping off the rust. And in April I'll take it dead serious. I just kind of want to go again because it was really fun. Shameless. What I'm going to do is I might move the chat down a bit. That way we can see the whole thing. I know there is a location for this. I just don't want to screw around with it too much. Maybe there isn't. Custom frame rate? Nah, I just won't bother with it. If anything, I should probably move the... No, because then it'll block the... It doesn't matter. It doesn't bloody matter, alright? You get me? There we go. Now you can see me work. But yes, there are a couple of future meet plans. It will be happening again. Next year. I love streaming. I'm not sure why. I don't do very well at it. But for some strange reason, I really enjoy it. I enjoy any kind of media, really. Your content is amazing to watch. Knowledge plus fun. Keep growing, though. Thank you very much, my friend. I appreciate that. You guys and girls are the bread and butter. Without you guys and girls, there'd be no point. Well, what other competition? I think there's another No, don't worry. Might as well make use of the other webcam, eh? This is how I edit my videos, by the way. All on CapCut Pro. I kind of want to start using DaVinci there. Apparently it's a lot better in terms of what you can do with it. Almost edited the intro of my new vlog. Oh, honey, honey. Have you ever tried Bulldog Grip for bench? Yes, and it's dangerous. It feels risky. I've actually had the bar slip on me when using a Bulldog Grip, so I don't tend to use a Bulldog Grip. However, the Bulldog Grip does have its place. Theoretically, it is better for squeezing the chest. Don't ask me why. I just know it does, because when I've used a Bulldog Grip in the past, I can feel my chest activating a bit more. However, would I use it, even for that slight bit of extra hypertrophy? Absolutely not. Because the heavier the load gets, the more risk involved. The last thing I want to be doing is dropping, 103 plates on my neck, or my chest, and snapping a rib cage, or even worse, minus winding the life out of myself. You could actually, I guess, if the weight's heavy enough, you could stop your heart if it landed in the wrong place, or break your neck. It just doesn't seem worth it to me. If you want to have a bit more extra, oof, yeah, you squeeze the muscle, build the muscle, I'd say use dumbbells for an incline press. That's what I'd recommend. Not the Bulldog Grip. Too risky. Not worth it. I'm sure there's loads of videos out there like backing up the Bulldog, glazing the Bulldog Grip. It's the best for building your chest. No, it's not. It really isn't. The best thing for building your chest is something like a dumbbell. Well, actually, I'd say the best way to build your chest is using machines, that isolated position, especially a machine press, a vertical one, if you have one. However, a horizontal one is a good option. Are you into personal training like stuff? I'm doing a personal training qualification, but I can't see myself doing anything with it. Simply because I was doing the personal training qualification through Pure Gym, and Pure Gym have permanently banned me because I don't know. There's clearly some sort of issue with them. It's quite pathetic, to be quite frank. More complex, though. What's more complex? I totally agree with you. I've been trying it out recently, and it's weird. I feel my chest a lot more, but I feel like the bar is going to slip out of hand, and it most likely will at some point, so I suggest you stop doing that, my friend, and just focus on doing exercises like the dumbbell incline press, and chest press machines. What's up, my man? How we doing? Oh, yeah. Just working on my new video, my new vlog. Oh, honey, honey. Has the editing been productive? No, because I've been talking to you guys and gals most of it. I've not really made any progress. I do need to lock down and lock in. So far, I've only got 5 minutes into this vlog. I don't even know if what I just said made sense. I'm almost at the part where I can say the intro's done on this video. Excuse me. Play a bit of Ark Raiders later. You know, Friday stream, get some snacks. My favourite snack at the minute is crackers and cheese. How to find a good coach? Search. Search the internet. Search Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, wherever you can. Ask your friends. Ask your family. Look for recommendations. Trial and error. You know, you might be with someone, they might not work with you very well, and you might be with someone else who works great with you. Trial and error. I work with James Adcock, and he seems to be doing very well. Not as like a great deal of communication between me and him. After all, we're not just client and coach. We're friends as well. But his programming is very thought out, and you know, where he does give me some feedback, which I appreciate. And I'm a very simple person. I don't like to overcomplicate things too much. So James is quite perfect for that. Hey boss, my deadlift is getting stuck at knees. It feels like mid-back is rounding after grinding for 3 seconds. My suggestion to you is introduce paused deadlifts to your week. So for example, if you're doing one top set of so and so, or you're doing straight sets, or whatever you're doing for your primary deadlifts, dial it ever so slightly down. So say this week is RPE 7, go RPE 6, 6.5, and then do an extra day. Have at least 2 to 3 days between that session. Although I'd say do secondary first. And do like one set of 3 paused at just below the knee for about 2-3 second hold. Make sure the bar's still. Don't make sure that bar does not move. It is fixed into a place, and it is not going down or up. It is you've paused it. Then pull up. Do like a top set of 3 at RPE 4, like an RPE or 2 below what your primary day is, and then do some back off sets, like 2 back off sets of 3 at like 10 or 12, maybe even 15% less. Just what you want to do when it comes to weaknesses is just reinforce those weaknesses by doing things that target those weaknesses. For example, at this precise moment in time, I haven't done close grip bench in a very long time, so my triceps are lacking. They're not packing, they're lacking. So what am I going to do? Close grip bench press. Yeah. Just target that weakness, build those triceps back up, and then once I got to a decent level again, I won't have to focus as much on building that weakness up. I can target other weaknesses, or I can just start reinforcing and my strengths. You played Battlefield 6? I have. I can't play it on my current PC setup because it's clapped. It's to this day and age low tier, but I do enjoy it. I really enjoy Battlefield 6. I think it's a great game. Okay, sweet, thanks. Just so you soaked in what I say. What did I just say? Hurry! That's his name, by the way. I'm not just saying that for the sake of it. What did I just tell you? Repeat it to me, or in the most simplest way, so I know you've retained it. Or you could, I guess what you could do is just re-watch this live stream. If you forget anything. I just want to make sure that you listen to what I say, and you will do it. I'm a stern man, but a kind one. If I buy a program, will you send me a spreadsheet, or must I? I can send you a spreadsheet. If you follow me on Instagram or TikTok, just send me, in all capitals, spreadsheet. Show me proof of purchase, and then I'll send you over a spreadsheet. You don't have to use the app, But obviously, I will try to convince you to use the app, as that is where all of my other programs are. And there's some pretty cool features on there, like RIR calculator. There's other programs made by other coaches on there that you could mix with your current program, so you don't necessarily have to focus on mine. You can run my power building programs, which I'm actually in the process of redoing. But I'll give you that for free. Anyone who's currently following my power building programs will get the re-edit of the power building programs for free. So you're not going to miss out. I'm not going to try and convince you to buy a different program. I'm just going to send everyone who's currently running it the free version. And then any other version of that will obviously be paid for. You can buy a Ganbaro Method. You'll see my programs on the Ganbaro Method website or app. But I need you to tell me. It's easiest to email me. I have an email in my Instagram. Just say that you need the spreadsheet because you don't want to access it through the app. But check out the app. Give the app a chance. But if you, I'll send you the spreadsheet. But just play around with the app, and if you really, really don't like it, then you can use the spreadsheet. But I'll send you the spreadsheet regardless. Cool. That's the intro done for my YouTube video. Hopefully it's all well and dandy. I'll have to rewatch it. Now we move on to the exercises. God, I really did fuck around with this. Where's the... I think I recorded all of the... Good lord, that's loud. Pause at the knee for 3-ish seconds, make sure it stops. Yeah, I will say, you don't have to do it for 3 seconds, because you're not used to it. I'd say probably like 2 seconds is where you're going to... Low RP, yeah. Where to buy? I already answered that. Okay, feedback for the app. The lift variations are all treated as the same lift. So the previous rep schemes get all mixed up. Oh, I see. Okay, I'll throw that over to Eugene. See what he says about that. See if there's a solution to it. And I'll get back to you. If there isn't, then I'll just... well, I'm going to send you the spreadsheet anyway. But just give me a message. On Instagram is what I mainly use. Or an email. And then we'll go from there, my friend. Right, I'm currently into the thick of it now. Let's just go straight to the top set, which is 180 kilograms. A good start to the week. Jeez, I really need to start using the noise reduction on the microphone. Should I message you on Insta for this? Yes, message me on Instagram, my friend. Just message me in all caps. Ganbaro. In fact, what I need to do is set up a ManyChat. So every time someone messages me a certain keyword, they'll be sent something so they can easily access it. I might have to use you for testing purposes, like a testing subject. Might have to get you to send me something. I'll do that later, though. I'm not going to focus on that now. I need to get this video done. Bum 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 bum. The music is so loud in this gym. It's quite overwhelming, actually. I might have to... I could always do a voiceover. What do you guys and girls prefer? A voiceover or me talking in the gym directly? I don't know why I'm doing it vertical either. Should be doing it default. So want the Slim Shady, please stand up. Please stand up. I never even spoke about my back offsets either. I've really... Mixture of both voiceover and in person. I think you're right, my friend. I think the meta is to do both. Because the music was incredibly loud on this one. And so it will affect monetization. Very particular about my edits. There we go. Might add a bit of music to the background, you know. See if you can hear that. I'm not sure if you'll be able to because I haven't. Although, do you guys and girls prefer it being like this? Non-copyright, copyright free, chill music. Let's see what we got. How loud is that? I'll turn it. Fucking hell, it's a bit clapped, isn't it? Maybe not that. That's a bit clapped. Let's just not do music. I think it's been working so far. And check out price. Bad bitches is the only thing that I like. And I say, I make my own money, so I do this thing. Yeah, a little too loud. I'm not gonna bother. Unless you guys have some suggestions. I can't believe how loud it is in here. I might have to do a voiceover for this video. Yeah, nah, it's just... Maybe I have to isolate the voice. It's kind of ruined the video, which is really frustrating. It's way too loud. That is annoying. So what I'll do is I'll have to do a voiceover for this new video. Only because the music's just overwhelmingly loud. Oh yeah, I did front scots as well. I completely forgot about that. I make my own money, but I do enough fun. If only you could hear what I could hear. Ha! Oh. I could. Emotion, 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 emotion. Let's put a bit of cheer. See what we got. Non-copyright, of course. Oh. No, this is not it. This is some clapped music. This should be alright. What's the difference to building strength and peaking? Building strength is essentially building work capacity, whilst obviously slowly starting to build your level of strength as well. And then when it comes to peaking, that is essentially getting to a point of where you're starting to test your 1 rep max. That's the most simplified way of putting it. Think of before the peak as a strength building phase, to build up work capacity, to build up strength whilst not testing out your 1 rep max, as in managing your strength. What? Managing your fatigue. And then peaking leading up to the testing of the strength. What do you think about the music? I'm not sure how you feel about that. There we go. Let's do a bit of like an Inception. That's really weird. You can see that me streaming me. Music is like 2015 Minecraft clips. I don't know what this music is. It's a bit... I don't like it. Music is not great. Should we just do no music? I want it to be like hip hop or something. Yeah, I'm gonna do a voiceover for this. Only because the it'd be nice if you can actually hear me. I'm gonna do a voiceover for the next vlog. Not for the intro. The intro's all talk to the cam. But the training, way too much noise. Way too much noise. Excuse me. Which is a shame. It's a bit frustrating. I really don't like loud music in gyms. I'm not sure if that's me, just being a miserable bastard. But I'm really not a fan of loud music. It does my head in. It kind of takes me off my focus. I use these bad boys, right? And I'm really low, and I listen to like classical, ambience, chill stuff. I love really relaxing music in the gym because I'm not the sort of person to come at it aggressively. I'm the sort of person who just likes to walk up to a barbell, enter a state of flow, and just get the job done. That's why you never see me like raging and shit. Only occasionally when it requires an extra bit of hoisting, heaving and hauling do I actually like say or do something. Oh, this is very nice for the very nice indeed. What we got here? We got the 135 for reps. Oh yeah, I did it really conservative this week for the old bench. We'll keep the bench set up there. That way people can see what I do. Music in gyms is never good. I prefer just no music. Yeah, personally, I would prefer no music. You know, sorry to be the party pooper, but I prefer just chill. Can I do 3 days power building as a newbie, and which split should I choose? For a newbie, power building, I'd say like some sort of 3-day-a-week full body workout. You could even start with an upper-lower, push-pull legs. Probably push-pull legs, unless you want a bit more frequency. You could do push-pull legs for like 3-4 weeks, and then upper-lower, if you can do 4 days a week. Yeah, same. At least here in Berlin, the music is hella crap anyways. I've never been to Berlin. But I've heard the beer and the chocolate's very good. Sweet. Lift and Sonata is where it's at. Sweat, Lift and Sonata. Is that some sort of different language? I'm not too sure. What's good, boys and girls, to the people that have just joined? Feel free to say hello, feel free to interact and engage. We are friendly here. Don't shoot! So cringe. It's one of the cringiest things I've ever done. Don't shoot! Wait, is this where the music got turned down? No, it isn't. Where did I pick up the barbell here? Classical workout mix. Yeah, I like a classical workout mix. Again, I prefer classic, ambience, chill. I even listen to like anime sometimes. I like anime. Me and Nojo were discussing that actually. I think in his latest YouTube video you'll hear it. But we were talking about how like the sort of music that we like. We both agreed that anime brings a atmosphere that no other type of music does, and that is only because you have emotions that are associated with that anime. For example, Attack on Titan. I love Attack on Titan because I know the scenes to each piece, musical piece. I know the energy that came with that piece. So, you know, before they attack certain titans, there's like a really upbeat, aggressive, well, not aggressive, but very intense piece of music. And I'll listen to that before a heavy lift because I'll be pretending that I'm the one attacking the titan. You know what I mean? Really playing into the music. That reminds me, I need to actually put up a story that we're doing this. Put the link up. Sorry for the unprofessionalism, but that's not my style. I'm pretty chill, you see. I like to just be cool with things. What was that? Erwin, charge theme for PRs. Exactly, my friend. The Demon Slayer as well. I love Demon Slayer stuff. Let's put a link in my Instagram to say that we are streaming. I do like streaming. On YouTube it's more difficult. I found that I don't get probably 1/10 of the engagement I get on, like, probably even more than 1/30th, 50th sometimes. 1/100th of the engagement I get on TikTok, but it seems a lot more chill here. I kind of like it. Saw that Hard Body has a new lever belt. Yes, it's a 13mm lever belt with a new belt buckle. It is very, very nice, very premium for the price that you pay. In fact, I think I have it here. Get it out. Oh, shizer. Here it is. This is the new belt. See the stainless steel belt buckle? It feels like a barbell. It's pretty cool. It's stainless steel. It's 13mm, so it's quite thick. Very rigid. Doesn't have a lot of flex to it. Definitely takes a bit of used to. What? Getting used to. Code Ryan Price at Hard Body, of course. Save you some discount. You just support me as a content creator. God. Excuse me. But Yes, it's very good. And they got the matching knee sleeves that go with it and the wrist straps. It is all very premium for the price that you pay. Yeah, very good. How's the stream been so far? Has it lagged at all? Hopefully not. Did the strict overhead press. Hey Ryan, love the content. I'm newer to barbell lifting, coming to calisthenics, and I'm struggling to get my arms behind the squat bar. My shoulders seem super tight. Do you warm up shoulders? Luckily for me, my friend, and I really don't like saying this, and I don't want it to come across as big-headed, but like my strength, genetically, I am mobile. I don't need to do anything for mobility. However, when it comes to mobility issues, which I've never really had, but every now and then had due to injury, I find that just working through the movement itself is enough to start like loosening up the muscles whilst doing that thing. For example, if you're doing a low bar back squat and you're finding that your shoulders are your limitation, get into the widest grip that you possibly can, right? And just as you're warming up, slowly go narrower and narrower until you can get to a point of where it's not hurting you, but you do feel it slightly, and maintain that position for the next couple of weeks until that position there feels good. I'm a big believer in do the thing that you want to improve in and just work on it over time, as opposed to going out and doing all these crazy mobility work. However, doing some sort of mobility work before, say, a low bar back squat and your shoulders are the ones that are the problem, does help. It will loosen you up, and it is proven time and time again by people like Squat University, who shows you that these people come in with these issues and they do certain exercises and return back to that exercise that they had the issue on, and they look like they didn't have that issue in the first place. So finding some sort of like little ritual to go through before your squat session is probably your best bet. Get like 2 to 3 I would say don't just focus on your shoulders, focus on everything else as well. Wrists, shoulders, lats. Do like 2 to 3, maybe even 4 mobility exercises, 2 sets of each. It'll only take you like 10 minutes. It won't even take you that if you do it quick enough, but do it properly. Before your low bar back squat, and you should feel as if you have a bit more flexibility and mobility in the tank. It's just finding the ones that work for you. Not every mobility exercise is going to help everyone. But yeah, I'll do some sort of like little mobility ritual before every single squat session. I'm talking every single, don't give up on that. Be consistent with it. When it comes to flexibility and mobility, consistency is key. If you stop, you will start to lose that flexibility and mobility quite quickly. So do that and just run through the movement itself. And just try to push it every session. But not to the point of where you end up snapping something, of course. Just one little step at a time, my boy. You're going to bring back the home workouts. At the precise moment in time, my home equipment is at the gym, Obsidian. Simply because I just don't have a place to store it at the minute. I can't store it outside because it will rust. And I can't store it inside because this caravan has a weight limit which has already been tested. And it started to cause some issues in the caravan, so I had to remove it and store it at the gym. However, I do plan on getting a shed for the yard. I'll be storing it in the shed and bringing back the home workouts. I plan on getting like a tarpin thing that will go across one from my caravan to next door neighbour's caravan. Well, maybe not a tarpin because that'll rustle too much and piss off the neighbour when he's trying to sleep. Probably piss off me as well. Maybe build like a big wooden, like a really big wooden thingy covering to prevent the rain from getting in. But at this precise moment in time, it's not practical. Unless I get out of the caravan and got myself a house. I found for shoulder mobility, start with a super wide grip on the bar. Yeah, that's right. Just ever so slightly inch it in as the squats continue, and eventually you'll be able to get into a good position. But you want to be doing things that are also going to be helping outside of that. So some sort of active mobility work on the shoulders, especially the triceps, the lats, the upper back. It is currently 10 a.m. here in the United States, and do you have any bench warm-up tips before I warm up? It depends, mate. I mean, for me, some days I can go in and just do the barbell for like 2-3 sets of. I'll do like one set of 15 with the bar, then a set of 10, then a set of 5, then I'll load. Other days I have to do a bit more, but I don't tend to do anything other than the barbell itself. Just do that movement pattern. You could always do like single arm kettlebell presses with a really, really light weight beforehand, just to wake up the stabilizers. That's a favorite of mine, a single arm dumbbell press or kettlebell press, especially a kettlebell press, because it requires more stabilization. Try single arm kettlebell press, 2 sets of like 10 to 15 with a really, really light weight, but not too light to the point of where it's like paper, but not too heavy to the point of where it's like, oh my god, I'm doing a working set. Just a nice little middle ground. I'd say go a bit on the lighter side than the heavier side, but single-armed kettlebell presses are going to be a good one. And also some sort of like banded stretch. You know, the old, you put your band around a cable machine and you do some flies or something. A very light band, of course. 2 sets of 10 to 12, maybe 15 at most. Thanks, great info. Hopefully it helped, my friend. You recently mentioned your pelvic tilt. I have the same thing. You should share your progress and what ends up working for you. Yeah, I still have yet to get that seen properly, but I do have a pelvic tilt and it is causing me issues, especially lower back issues when I'm doing things like hyperextensions or Bulgarian split squats. However, I am making an active effort of standing up every 25 minutes. I haven't done it yet. I've been sat down the whole time. But usually I'd stand up after 25 minutes and I would actively tilt my pelvis into a natural, normal position, and that has helped. I've noticed that the pelvic tilt has decreased. However, I do need to see a physio to get it worked on properly, and to follow a rehabilitation program on it, because it is causing me issues, and it always has. And I've had a pelvic tilt for a very long time. What are your goals for coming year? Probably hit a couple more powerlifting competitions, try out our weightlifting competitions, hit some really odd PRs and different weird exercises like the Zercher squat, Zercher deadlift. Maybe have a little fun with some strongman stuff, but overall, just focusing on getting stronger and maybe traveling, going to different types of gyms, training there. That'd be quite cool. I'd just like to expand this and doing I plan on doing so many giveaways, at least like 1 giveaway a month minimum. I want to be giving out a lot more than, well, I need to obviously receive, but I want to be giving out equal amounts to what I receive. I want to be putting in equal amounts to what I'll be getting out of my content. My plan is to just prioritize my training, prioritize my progression, prioritize my content, and prioritize the receiving, giving, and putting out. Balance, essentially. Diet as well. I want to really tidy up my diet, tidy up my sleep routine. Get into a really healthy lifestyle. I start doing swimming after every session now. Well, not every session, 2-3 sessions a week. I only started doing that over the last couple of weeks. Bit of sauna as well. Just prioritising my health. I'm getting older, and as I get older, there are things that I need to start taking care of, such as mobility, which is something I've always had, but I need to give a little bit more to it. I need to pay more attention to my diet and things like that, because there's a lot of issues in my family which are quite concerning. So I want to hit them on the head before they catch up with me. How about yourself? What are your goals, my friend? What you working on, Mr. Price? A new YouTube video. I've been slacker-lacking, only because I've been ill and have not done anything. So I'm going to be showing you my first session of the block. The second session will be tomorrow, and the third session will be Sunday. What are your goals? What working on? Just do that with a plate. You can do it with a plate. Plate works. But if you use a kettlebell, you get a bit more out of it, because you're not just working the chest, you're working the wrist, you're working the elbow, you're working the shoulder, all to stabilise. Do you make your own gym schedule? If so, what do you base it on? No, I do not. I have a coach who coaches me. He's also my friend. It's a upper lower push pull leg split, but it includes the squat, bench, and deadlift, emphasis on, and the snatch and cleaner jerk, so super total. However, we do negotiate with each other and we do change things up where things need to be changed. We do adapt where we need to adapt. For example, if a week feels bad, then I'll dial down the next week so I can recover a bit more. And that usually works. Or if I'm feeling great, then we'll up a little bit. We'll up the RPEs, the intensity, the volume, etc. Although they're saying that the volume stays the same. The intensity gets a little higher though. So I do this thing called auto-regulation, which is essentially adapting to how I feel. Adapting to where I'm at. If I'm feeling bad, then I'll dial down. If I'm feeling good, then I'll dial up. Ramp up, should I say. It makes a bit more sense. Ramp down doesn't make sense. Right. Let's talk about you guys though. How's your guys and girls' day today? Is this the one where yeah, I did 5. As long as I get a video out today, I'm happy. In terms of fitness, I'm dreaming of going to gym again without back pain in 2 to 3 months. Again, stepping stones, patience, and then start doing a lot of plyo power stuff next to strength. Found this to be very fun. If you find it fun, that's what matters at the end of the day. Unless you're training for something specific, but you want your workouts to be enjoyable if you're not competing. Not saying that if you compete it isn't enjoyable, but as long as you have fun and you enjoy what you're doing, that's what counts at the end of the day. Just with your injury, take time, be patient, don't rush, because you'll end up injured again if you do. And quick recovery, my friend. Oh yeah, I found a worm in the gym. That was really confusing. As I picked up the 40-kilogram dumbbells, like a worm flew off the 40-kilogram dumbbell. It was so confusing. You can't really see it either. I was so baffled by this worm. Oh, there's a worm. That's what I said. Imagine how the worm must have felt with you interrupting his set like that. Bro was getting down and dirty with those 40-kilogram dumbbells until I threw the dumbbell by the bench and the worm did not make it. That's all I can say. What do you think about the Mike Mentzer teachings about minimal training and high intent? Is this like a new ongoing debate or something? Because I've noticed that a lot of people have been asking me about the Mike Mentzer style of training. And I'll say what I said before, that if it works for you, great. If it doesn't, then move on. But it's not going to work for everyone until you, and you won't know it will work for you until you try. Now, you've got to remember that Mike Mentzer was on PEDs, right? Mike Mentzer was on PEDs. So does it work for someone who's not on PEDs? Maybe a couple, 1 out of 10,000 out there. Maybe 100,000, maybe even 1 million. But for most people, it probably won't work unless you're really, really dialed into your diet, your training, you're managing your fatigue, And by training, what I mean is like you've balanced it out to the point of where you can do that sort of training just in the way that works for you most, sleep, etc., etc. So when it comes to the Mike Mensa training, it can work, but it's not going to work for everyone. And if you want it to work, you're going to really have to figure out how to manage the fatigue. The fatigue is going to the thing that's going to ruin you. And if you don't manage that, you're going to regress. You're going to either hit a wall or regress. That's my opinion. It might work, it might not. Give it a go. Play with it a little bit. But most importantly, listen to your body. And adapt. Adapt, improvise, overcome. Sup, Ryan? Have you ever struggled with your knees? Quad tendonitis is effing me up right up. Please, squats help a bit. I've found that when it comes... I've never had quad tendonitis. But if I did have quad tendonitis, then I would probably, 1, go see a physio, get a rehab program. 2, see if I can get a scan to figure out if it is quad tendonitis or it is something a bit more worse. You know, it could be a tear or a strain, which is the same thing. But I tend to use tear when it's a higher degree, just terminology. But figure out exactly what it is first. Make sure you know it's quad tendonitis. Find a rehab program from a physio. Work on doing those rehabilitation exercises. But if I was to do it myself, I'd probably do like really light leg extensions with a hold at the top, and then I'd just slowly progress that, simply because you want to keep active, but you don't want to irritate it. You really do have to listen to your body. And if you start doing things and you realize, oh, there's pain there, then there's a good chance you probably shouldn't be doing that thing yet. You want to be doing these things pain-free. And if you're doing these things and there's pain there, high chance you should not be doing them, because they're the things that are irritating that quad tendonitis. But apart from that, I can't really say much because I'm not medically qualified. I'm not trained in that, that field. So just be careful. Take my advice with a pinch of salt. But like I said, what I'd do, see a physio, get a scan, figure out what it actually is. Do some leg extensions with an ISO hold at the top. Do some like banded stuff as well. Keep it mobile. Keep active as well. Don't sit around, because if you sit around, I would say try to avoid sitting down for too long. And if you do have to sit down, elevate it. Seems to be quite hype at the moment. Now the science-based lifting is losing popularity. Yeah, I mean, that's bound to happen. People are already fed up of information overload, and when you tell someone how to do something but 1,000 times over, it gets overwhelming, and we truly end up not knowing what to do. Keeping things simple is the best way of going about it, and Mike Mensa did a good job at keeping things simple but very intense. Again, it is something that you have to play with to see if it works for you or not, and in order to see if something works for you or not, you have to give it a few tries. So I would block it. I'd set blocks of the Mike Mensa training. I'd say like block 1, block 2, block 3. And as you run through those blocks, I would adapt. Try to figure out what works for you, what doesn't. How many sets can you push to? How many sets can you not? You know, I'd really play around with it, but you'd have to give it a chance, and you'd have to give it some patience. However, I do believe that something like that is more for someone who is enhanced as opposed to someone who is natural. So, yeah, I'd be careful. Just listen to your body. But most importantly, prioritise your recovery, your sleep, your nutrition, etc. Sal, I'm not too sure what you sent there, but all I can see is a square. Oh, you sent me an emoji. I suppose it doesn't register on the chat that you'll see here. Hey boss, I asked earlier if I should compete. I found a comp in April. Should I compete in wraps or sleeves? I really want to squat 200 in comp, but just missed a 140. I'd say I wouldn't go down the equip route. I would go down the raw route. I'd find yourself a decent powerlifting coach. I could even link you up with James. He's a good one. I'm not sure if he's taken on clients, but I'll let you know if you message me like James in Instagram on all caps. You'll be able to get 200. I think you'd be able to get 200 if maybe, depending on where you want to compete, what category you want to compete in terms of weight. I would say maybe bump your weight up, have a little bulk before your competition, gain some strength and some extra muscle. I'd say probably work with a higher volume that you're used to, so you can build up some work capacity, build up some muscle, and then by the time like January comes along, so I'd say spend December building up work capacity and hitting a bit more volume, and then January, February would be. I mean, you could even go into January, but I would probably recommend about 8 to 12 weeks of prep. 12 weeks if you've got a coach, and the coach will be able to guide you through those 12 weeks. Maybe December and January you could focus on gaining a bit of weight, not too much weight, just a little bit to bump up the muscle. Focus on volume, building up work capacity, and then really understand. I would also practice cues in your head. Every rep that you do, practice a cue. So before you do every rep of a set in a squat, even if it's a warm up, down, up, obviously you'd rack after that. Just make sure you're telling yourself the cues in your head. Get used to the cues. But aside from that, mate, one of the most important things, if not the most important things, is prioritizing your recovery, sleep, nutrition, managing your fatigue as well. They're the most important things. I believe you could get a 200 in comp if you played your cards right. Absolutely, 180 at least, 190 I'd say, but 200 is most definitely plausible. It's a most definite realistic goal, mate. You're not going to gain 60 kilograms on your squat in 4 months. I've seen people do it. It all depends on your level. If you're like an intermediate to advanced, it's going to be a lot harder. By intermediate to advanced, I mean like the amount of years you've been training for. If you've been training for years and years, it's going to be harder for you to gain strength. But it is possible to get that 140 to 180, maybe even 200 if you really, really play your cards right. I'm talking really play your cards right. I'm talking like you're hitting the fatigue management on the head. You're hitting the recovery on the head. You're programming really well. You are listening to your body. You are really you're prioritizing everything that you need to prioritize. I'd even go as far to say probably find ways of reducing your stress. It's easier said than done, and it would be quite hard to achieve that, but it is possible. It is possible. There is a chance. And there's so many dependencies, but there is a chance. 5 months exactly. So again, you start improving your technique. You start dialing into these things. There's a chance you could get that 60 kilograms. However, I would probably set smaller goals for now. Instead of thinking I want a 200 squat in April, I would probably say to myself, well, I'm at 140 now. Let's try 160 in a couple of weeks, or no, not a couple of weeks. Next block. I'd always undershoot my goal, but I'd always aim for something. You want 200 by April. You know that now. In your head, you need to try and convince yourself that you're going to get it. But in order to get it, you need to do those things. Like I said, manage fatigue, prioritize recovery, and everything else. It's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy, but you could do it. Only 15 at the minute, so I don't have the funds for a coach. Do you have a lot of powerlifters in your gym? I would probably start with them. Ask the gym manager. Ask the powerlifters. Don't start asking just general PTs because they won't help properly. They won't give you what you want out of the training. My advice to you is just speak to powerlifters. Speak to people who know what they're doing, and hopefully they'll be generous enough to help you. To be honest, just message me on Instagram, in all capitals, powerlifting, and I'll see what I can do for you. I still don't think so, but best of luck, mate. Yeah, I know. It would be very difficult to achieve, but it's possible. It is possible, especially only be training for 5 months. It is possible. I wouldn't knock yourself on the head. If you really want to achieve a squat specifically, I'd probably look into a squat specific program. If it's squats that you really want to prioritize. Lots of powerlifters one has made it work. Yes, yeah. Ask the powerlifters, my friend. Right, I need to crack on with this video. but I will answer your questions. You just have to give me a moment. God, this cold is horrendous. It's really like ruined my sense of smell. I feel like there's a weird chemical smell up my nose right now. It's horrible. And I've got like that grainy head feeling, like your vision's a bit fuzzy. Thank you for the help, man. No worries. This is horrible. The mysterious worm. That was such a shit joke. I'm still baffled by the fact that a worm fell off the dumbbell. Would you class low bar? No, I would not class low bar as a sumo of fucking deadlift squats. No, low bar is most definitely not the sumo of squat. The sumo of squat would be a sumo stance. Shins incredibly vertical. Like, I'm talking like vertical, wide stance, really low bar. I'd say like a classic, traditional low bar where the bar is just sat on the roof of your rear delts, or the shelf, as people call it. I'd say that as a low bar with a fairly normal, regular stance, you know, like shoulder width to hip width. Although for me, I go inside hip width because I just love narrow squatting and deadlifting and everything. That's just how I like it. Could probably get more out of it. Anyway, I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about my bloody stance. I think with a regular stance and a regular bar position, no, it's still bloody hard in its own way. When I started doing low bar, blimmin' heck, it took a toll on my shoulders, my wrists, even my back. You have to learn a different position. I honestly don't believe that. I think it only becomes the sumo of the squat if you take a really wide stance with incredibly vertical shins and you've got an incredibly low bar. That's when it's like, okay, what are you doing? Now you're just trying to reduce the range of motion completely, which is legal in a competition, and I understand why some people do it, because they want to get the most out of these exercises. They want maximal load, even if it's a kilo more than their competitor. That's still a kilo more they'll get in comp, and that still will bring them closer to winning. I get it, but at the same time, where's your dignity, mate? Where's your dignity? I find I have a lot of dignity in my lifts because I do them with correct form. I don't cheap out on the ROM. I like to get my full range of motion. I want to get the most out of an exercise, because not only do I benefit it from a functional respect, you know, I'm going to be more functional than the person who does a really an exercise with reduced range of motion. I'm going to be a lot more functional, a lot more stronger in the areas that I need to be, a lot more stable in those areas. But it's also a lot more, it also looks a lot better, which isn't the main priority here. We're here to hoist, heave and haul. We want to get those heavy ass weights. So it may not look the best, but you know, not everyone's form does look aesthetically pleasing, but they're still hoisting a hell of a lot of weight, and that's what matters at the end of the day when it comes to powerlifting. But at the same time, I'm a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to form, so I like my form to look really well, and it'll only look really well, really good, really pleasing to the eye, really satisfying, feel really satisfying anyway, if I go through the full range of motion and I utilise the entirety of the exercise as opposed to reduce it and make it look ugly and cheap out. So no, it's not the sumo of squat, but it can be if you do it in certain ways, just like a conventional could be. You know, a really wide conventional. Is it a conventional at the end of the day, or is it the sumo of conventional? Is a wide bench a sumo bench? It all depends. It really does all depends. I mean, is it a sense that it shifts the muscles required versus the original lift? I mean, the high bar and the low bar are quite different, just like the sumo and the conventional. So they do target different areas. The posterior is activated heavily when doing low bar, and the anterior is activated heavily during the high bar. Same with like deadlifts. Sumo deadlifts is very hip quad dominant. as opposed to conventional, which is very hamstring, glute dominant. They both have their places. Personally, again, I'm not a fan of reducing the range of motion, simply because I want to get the most out of an exercise and it looks more aesthetically pleasing, especially when you do it correctly. But if you was to cheap out on the range of motion, then I would say yeah. But if you're not cheaping out on the range of motion, then I'd say no, because it's still hard in its own way. And I guess if you think about it, sumo is also hard in its own way. Some people cannot sumo anything that they can conventional, and vice versa. However, I think if you dial into sumo deadlifts, you can get a lot more than your conventional. It's just about leverages, working with your leverages and the positioning. Sumo is very technical. That is one thing I'll give it. Is a very well done sumo deadlift is somewhat pleasing to the eye. However, I don't like sumo because it reduces the range of motion. That's as simple as that. I don't like exercises that reduce, or ways of doing things that reduce the range of motion. I think it's, in my opinion, pointless, and you should be shameful for it. There's no dignity in that. Obviously taking the piss. Man, I would love to squat like you, but my femurs are 5 meters long. Yeah. You can still squat like me, just not in the way that I do it. So you can still squat with a narrow stance, and you can still squat, very deep, but you might not be able to squat as upright as me because I have short femurs and a somewhat average to longish torso compared. But you can still have a very aesthetically pleasing squat, one of which you get the most out of. You can still go arse to grass. You can, even if you can't do narrow squats, you can still do a really aesthetically pleasing and very effective squat with like a shoulder width. I've seen some really, really nice shoulder width stance squats, and they look so pleasing to the eye. So pleasing. So it's all about trying to make the most out of it. Did I up the ISO when I didn't do the bench? Oh, I did. That's so stupid of me. Oh well. Let's just get the repetitions on cam. Should we name this worm that appeared in the gym the gym worm? I should have preserved its body and put it in that silicone gel and carried around with me like some sort of trinket. That's such a weird thing to say, but that's such a me thing to say.
Silicone gel carried around with some sort of trinket in your contacts. Who do you want to call?
What? Yes, it does. You are correct. Ankle mobility does come into play with long femurs because your calves, the longer your legs, the more you'll have to do this. That's why wearing heels will allow you to kind of shift it a bit. Think about it. So this is flats, this is heels. Flats, heels, flats, heels. You'll have to go more knees over toes in a pair of flats. So for longer femured lifters, you want to be wearing heels or have some sort of incline, even if it's a small one. But yes, ankle mobility is very important to work on if you have long femurs. But in the meantime, you can always widen your stance, wear heels, and figure out your, like, maybe toes out a little bit, but not too much. 15 to 45 degrees is max. Call it a trinket, yeah. It's a bloody trinket. But yeah, heels, mate, that'll be a good start. Or a couple of plates underneath the heel, your heels, if you're not in a position to get heels. Not everyone is, because they're bloody expensive. I fucking threw those. Get the microphone out in a minute. I'm absolutely knackered. I feel so ill. Shouldn't have left going to the gym so long. But that's just my style, I think. Late to everything. What did I say here? Did I say anything interesting? Is SBD monopolising the IPF? I can't really answer that, not because it's controversial, which technically it is, but I don't really have enough knowledge or understanding of the relationship between the SBD and IPF to answer that question. I'd have to do a bit of research. It's not that I'm trying to avoid the question because it's controversial. Again, it's purely because I don't have an understanding of it. Maybe, maybe not. Feel free to throw some information into the chat so I can get a better idea of what is going on with it. But at this precise moment in time, I couldn't give you an answer to that question simply because I just lack the understanding of the situation. I hope that wasn't wishy-washy, but what can I say? I can't say anything about it. Not about something that I don't understand. But I'd love for you to give me a bit of insight into the issue. I don't really know the situation, to be honest. Pure Gym, a gym group. I mean, the way that Pure Gym has treated me, I would not advise them. Pure Gym have treated me like an absolute villain. They've treated me like shit. The gym managers, a lot of them in different gyms, have spoke to me like pure shit. The only ones that haven't spoke to me like pure shit is the one in Thanet. Very nice. But I went to one in, I can't remember where it was exactly. It's a couple of hour drive away from me. Me and George Porritt were filming a video there. And the manager came full force, almost got into our faces, telling us we can't do this, can't do that, but not in a very nice manner either, quite an aggressive manner. I really didn't appreciate the way that he come across. Then a couple of other Pure Gyms that I've been to, they've just harassed me. They've just not been very nice to me. I've been harassed by PTs as well. One of which, because I was teaching their client how to do the squat, and they came up to me and said, "You can't be doing that." And I said, "Yes, I can. I can teach anyone I want. You cannot tell me that I cannot teach someone just because it doesn't make sense. What do you mean I can't teach someone how to squat? Someone comes to me for advice. I have the knowledge and experience to give them that advice. You can't tell me that I can't give them a bit of advice just because you realise that they got a bit more out of what I said than what you said. It's just absolute bollocks." Basically, they just felt like I was threatening their clientele, even though I'm not a PT there. I don't even have a PT qualification. I don't work there. So what's the threat? I'm actually helping you. If you think about it, I'm helping you because I'm helping your client. And I'm doing it for free. And then there's the Pure Gym management in Dover, the previous Pure Gym. Well, actually, to say that, I think the current Pure Gym management there have something out for me, especially I'm not saying the names, but one specific manager really doesn't like me, and they've made that very known through chatting to other people, slagging me off to these PTs, and even some clients they didn't realize were actually I was associated with some of their client base. They knew me, and we get along very well, and these were coming up to me, and I've got voice notes to prove it. I've got voice notes, I've got DMs to prove that certain management in Pure Gym were essentially just slagging me off because jealousy, I guess. You know, I don't like to throw that word around because just because someone has a problem with you doesn't mean they're jealous of you. But I can't think of any other reasonable, what else could it be? I don't understand what else it could be. And everyone else has said the same thing. It's just pure down to jealousy. They don't like the position that I'm in. So they're just going to slag me off for it. Which doesn't make sense. Because I believe that no matter whether someone is doing better than you or not, you should always encourage them to do better. You should always celebrate their successes and their wins. You should always motivate them. I don't understand why you would knock anyone for doing slightly better than you. It just baffles me. We should be supporting each other, not knocking each other down. But in Pure Gym Dover, it was a case of knocking me down for everything that I do, trying to find an excuse to ban me, this, there, and everywhere. I came in with Crocs, and I didn't realise that it was a rule. And I got a ban, and I couldn't access my account the next day. And I said, why have I got a ban? Oh, you were wearing inappropriate footwear. Yeah, but why did you need to ban me? Why couldn't you have just come up to me and said, oh, sorry, but you're not allowed to wear this footwear? Oh, okay. Fair enough. I'll come in the next day and I won't wear it. Why did you need to ban me straight away? Oh, I know why. It's because you like the power. You like the ability to ban people because it makes you feel bigger than you actually are. That's why you do it, right? Not because it's against some rule, which technically it is, but it's because you can do it. You don't have to do it, but you do it because it makes, when you get home and you sit there at the, oh yeah, I'm going to ban him because I can. That gives me more power over him. Why though? Why would you want to live a life like that? What a miserable life. What a sad, miserable life that is. To sit there and use your authority because you can, not because you should. How pathetic. You know, you must really think low of yourself if you're doing that to people. And I know I'm going a bit of a tangent right now, but I'm pissed off. I'm still pissed off to this day about the whole shit that they were doing to me. It's just, it was unfair and it was uncalled for, and I don't understand it. It's you know, there's just no need for it. There's no need to target someone just because you think they're doing better than you, or you feel threatened by that person. Just come up to me. You know, if you want to know about what I do, I can sit there for hours and talk about it, and I'll help them out wherever they want me to help. I helped someone there. There was a younger girl there who asked me about how I got started with all the content creation and where she could start with it. And I sat there, I was suggesting different equipment to her. I was suggesting different video editing software. I was talking about like what sort of content that she could do based on what she does. I was, you know, I feel free to sit down with me and talk to me about the things that you want to know. Don't penalise me just because that you don't want like someone else doing better than you. It doesn't make sense. So what do I think of Pure Gym? I think that the people, not saying everyone, but a lot of the managers have a power issue. They have an authority issue. And I don't know why. But it's not just, I wouldn't say that if it was just one gym, but it's not been one gym. It's been several Pure Gyms I've gone to where the managers are they're just arses for no reason. But then I have gone to a couple of Pure Gyms where the managers are nice. So it's not all the managers. It's just, seems like it's an issue. It is an issue in Pure Gym, and I've spoke to members to clarify this. Instead of speaking about it and having one-sided view, I spoke to other members about their issues with the gym, and their goods as well. You know, the goods and the bads, but it seems to be a lot more bads than goods. People are being banned for the most stupid reasons. People are being spoke to like dog shit. So it's not the case of the actual gym itself, because the actual gym itself isn't too bad. You know, plenty of space to do what you need to do, and don't get me wrong, the crowd is a little on the younger side, so it can get a bit frustrating having to deal with children that haven't learned their manners yet or respect. And it can be a bit overwhelming when 1 minute it's clear and you want a bit of and you got all the equipment to yourself. The next thing you know, everyone's come from school and college and uni and that, and it's absolutely flooded and you can't even bloody move. But that's just the nature of the beast when it comes to commercial gyms. They are going to be packed. They are going to be full of school kids, college kids, uni kids, because it's cheap and cheerful, right? And it provides everything that someone needs. So it's going to be, that's the sort of crowd that it targets, the general audience. But in terms of like the actual gym itself, the equipment, it's not too bad. It's not terrible. I'm just fucking pissed off by the way that they target people and the way that they targeted me. And I think it was very unfair. And although I had a bunch of proof that would basically call out these people that were treating me unfairly, I sent all this proof to this management team that I dealt with that deals with complaints about other staff members and deals with all the bands and the whatever. And they basically just said, "Oh no, we're not really interested in anything that you could prove your innocence. We don't care. Basically, you're banned because we can ban you," which is baffling, absolutely baffling. I don't have anything good to say, really, about when it comes to that sort of stuff with Pure Gym, which is a shame because there's a lot of potential, but they treat me like shit. So I have nothing nice to say about them. Yeah. But Gym Group, on the other hand, never had an issue. I've been to a few gym groups now, and all the management team have been absolutely fine. They actually encourage me to do the filming there because they see it as free real estate. I go there, I film there. People ask me where that is because it's got good lighting or decent equipment or it's a good community. It brings them members, and I get good content out of it. They make the most of content creators. Most of them do anyway. I'm not sure if anyone else has had another experience because at the end of the day, it does come down to personal experience. But personally, never had an issue with Gym Group. Always been encouraged to provide content, do content. Same with JD Gyms. JD Gyms actually wanted me to go to their new gym in London and do some content for them. And they actually encouraged me to go to their gym. They offered me like free gym passes. They've offered me things like that to bring a friend, to do some content there. They encourage content creation. Gym Group encourage content creation. Management have been really nice, always speaking about how they even asked me how it's all done. How do they do content create? Anyway, Pure Gym, nah, don't rate it. Sorry, don't have a good word to say about them anymore. They screwed me over. They were very unfair to me. They treated me like shit. They made me feel really insignificant. And yeah, that's all I really have to say about Pure Gym. I don't like Pure Gym. Don't like it. Play Arc Raiders. I'll play some Arc Raiders after my gym session, which I actually need to get to. I've been streaming for 2.5 hours almost. So what I'll do is, do you guys and girls want to see me play a bit of Arc later after my gym session? Gym employees are a weird breed. You see, not everywhere. It just seems like Pure Gym has a lot of arseholes in it. A lot of people that aren't very nice. Yes, banned for wearing Crocs. Even though some of the staff there have worn Crocs. I was also banned for filming. And that is the main reason. Because apparently people in the background weren't happy with it. Then when I started actually asking people if they're okay with being in the background, I still received a ban. Because there was a gym manager called Mark there. I'm not going to give the surname or any socials or any details like that because I don't want to witch hunt. Probably even shouldn't have said his first name. So, you know, not my mistake on that one. But he hated me. He hated my guts. He actually came up to me when I was doing a Snapchat story and said I couldn't do it. So I was Snapchatting a friend of mine about, like, I had it up there. I was like, because he asked me, is it busy in the gym? And I said, oh, it's bloody busy right now. Very busy. And I did a little, oh, look, it's very busy. A little quick look around. And he walks up to me and says, right, you can't be using equipment, your big camera and your tripod and all that. And I said, okay, I'll just come back during non-peak times. And you can't use your phone either. I said, are you mad? I literally looked at him dead in the eye. I said, what about all the other people that are using their phone right now? Some are actually on phone to they're calling people on the equipment. I said some of them are on FaceTime and using Snapchat as well and videoing it. There's a person over there with a bloody tripod and a video. Oh, I'll talk to those in a minute. Never talked to him, by the way. Just targeting me. Yeah. Whatever, anyway. I can't be asked to speak about it anymore. It's frustrating because a lot of followers of mine train at Pure Gyms. And it's really nice to interact with them, to see them, to say hello, to ask about their training, you know, to ask about them, speak about their day. It was almost as if I had loads and loads and loads of different friends. You know, a lot of them were very young. And so I thought, How could I help them in their future journey? How could I help them in their fitness journey, their gym journey? How can I help them? And I loved helping this younger generation do like training the best way. I always encouraged them to prioritize the recovery, and it was just lovely to be around like a younger generation I could help, and around people that followed me on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. But they took that away from me because they didn't like me having that, and that is so sad. It really is. It really is. That's the worst part about this. The worst part about this permanent ban at Pure Gym and being treated like the way that I was treated is the fact that I don't get to see my community anymore at that gym. And a lot of them went because that's where I started. Pure Gym Dover is where I started. I did a bit of Pure Gym Folkestone. That's a couple of first videos were there, but mainly Pure Gym Dover. That's where I first started. That's where I first started building up a community. That's, you know, when people started to recognise me was there, and they took that away from me because they didn't like me having it, and that was it. It was a personal issue, not a private one. Anyway, enough. God damn. This rant. It's because I feel so strongly about it. It has upset me. Generally upset me that they did this. It really does upset me because of the community thing, because of the not seeing the people that I used to speak to there. That's the worst part about it. Not the gym itself. You know, Obsidian Gym that I go to now has a fantastic community, really good equipment. You know, I pop into the gym group. That's also got a good community, good equipment. Gets a little busier. I now go to the Dover Leisure Centre as well. Great community. Staff are really chill. But at Pure Gym Dover, a whole bunch of my community was there, and I love seeing them. I'm drinking... Oh, bloody hell, hold on. Sorry, I've been on a tangent for the last 10-15 minutes about something that really has impacted me on a personal level. And they did it. Anyway, I'm drinking Whey Gainer Isolate. So it's essentially like Impact Weight Gainer. It's a weight gainer, but it's the isolate. So it's like drinking you know, like a little smoothie, or not a smoothie, like a juice. I've got the one which is chocolate and banana. I've got a banana and a vanilla one, and that's good for like in the morning when I don't need to eat anything after breakfast. But this is good if I want to still get the calories in from food. And this is the apple flavour. It's really tasty. I love the content, Ryan. Keep it up. Thank you very much, Jack. I really appreciate it. What's good, RQZ? How you doing? Currently in the gym, but had to join the live for a little. But yes, love to see you play. I'll play a bit tonight. I'll play a bit of Ark tonight. I'll stream it on YouTube. I know I do better on TikTok, but I want to build my YouTube up. I need to do this for YouTube video, to be fair. I saw your weightlifting, and as you know, people think you're very good. You are very good. Thank you very much, Imperial. I really appreciate that. I'm going to actually double down on the weightlifting now and do a bit on the side of the squat, bench, deadlift. I very much like juice. When you say juice, because we're in the old gym community, what do you mean by that? Juice or juice? But yeah, this is a weight gainer isolate. It has creatine in it as well. So I get my creatine dose. I have 2 of these a day. I have the Whey Impact Gainer in the morning, which is the chocolate one. That's obviously thicker. It's actually a shake. And then I have this in the evening, which is the easier to digest, easier to get down the old system through the gut and into the bladder. You piss this one out, basically. But I like this one. I like the apple flavour's good. Sorry to burden you with that rant about Pure Gym. I really do apologise. It's just I really feel strongly about it, and I've never really spoke about it properly, and it upsets me. It really does, because I can't see the people that I used to see there. I really enjoyed being around that community. Really did. Any cool powerlifting gyms you recommend in Surrey area? I've not explored the Surrey area enough to give you some suggestions, unfortunately. Anyway, boys and girls, I'm going to end this live stream here, but I will be back on tonight, only because I need to get this video done, and I need to go to the gym. So I'll see you in a few hours, if you join, of course. Yeah, take care. Sorry about the rant. Thought I'd get it out there. Need to get out of the system at some point. I'll answer any power. Usually I'm a weightlifter myself. Have to ask, do you have a favourite lifter? Clarence Kennedy. And also that guy that he squat with, he's my favourite. He's one of my favourites. And the guy goes, "Watch out!" Anyway,